Well, let's jump to the auction clearance rates and see what's happening with our numbers.
Well, there's an interesting thing again. If these people are saying that the market's dying, well, the national clearance rates came in at 77.3%. Now, that's higher than last week. Higher than last week. We're in the first month of winter, towards the end of the first month of winter. This is 65.4% last year, Chris, last year. Now, Sydney came in at 82.4%. That's been in the 80s for a while. Melbourne came in at 79.3%. So it's still really pushing hard. But you look at the other capital cities. Canberra still strong, 68.1. Adelaide, 63.5. What impressed me most was Brisbane, because that's been sitting in the 40s, which is strong for Brisbane, high 40s. It came in at 52.2. So something is going on out there, and it's not what people are thinking. Those that are talking in the newspapers, they're wrong. The market's still moving.
Sounds good. Homes advertised for sale.
Yeah, I know you hate this part.
Oh,
it's increased massively this week by 0.004%. That's you can't. I couldn't even get that on the chart. I couldn't even get it to nudge up slightly on the chart.
It's amazing just seeing that graph and the ups and downs, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, you know, we are behind by 7.46% in listings for sale this time last year. We're 7.4. That's a lot of stock. Massive amount of stock. New Zealand's negative 1.4% over this time last year, but they're up 5.4 this week, so they have a bit of a spike in their stock coming in. But they're selling everything, so this is why they're having a bit of struggle too.
Now, cash flow, we always need some rent coming in.
Yeah, the rent's negative rent, mostly now across the country. Almost all of the country was negative. WA was neutral, but certainly in New South Wales there was a negative 0.29%. And in Sydney it was a negative 0.42%. So overall, if you look at all of them across the country, it was a minus 0.25%. So that's down, but for the year to date, it's down to a 1.92% low. And it might not sound like a lot from the start of the year. The chart might look like it's dropping significantly, but it's only in small increments. So it's not that bad. It's not that bad at all.
OK, and very finally, the vacancy rate.
They're getting a bit high. So the Melbourne one's starting to concern me a little bit. Melbourne came in at 4.25 clearance rate, so that's up over the fours a couple of weeks now. Sydney's still strong, but it climbed to 2.1%, Perth 6.07. So the average of those three capital cities is 4.14. So you'll notice in the chart that it started to spike upwards in terms of the vacancy rates. So I don't understand that, because in some areas there's virtually nothing for rent. Virtually nothing. So, but other suburbs, I know down in Melbourne, I was at St Kilda and Brighton the other day, and both of those areas have got very high vacancy rates compared to the rest of Melbourne.
So, and again, the thing I always say with vacancy, it depends on your property. So make sure you've got the right property manager, the right condition, the rest of it, and it could be 5% vacancy, but 0
Offer some incentives to your tenant, mow their lawns, give them a lower rent, look after them, they'll stay with you forever, and they'll look after the property. Absolutely, why not?
Charles Tarbey from Century 21, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks for joining us at home as well. We'll be back next week. Until then, I'm Chris Gray. Good night.
The information featured in this program is general in nature and therefore should not be relied upon. Guests appearing on the program may have commercial arrangements with some of the companies mentioned. Before making any investment, insurance or financial planning decisions, you should consult a licensed professional who can advise whether your decision is appropriate for you.